Dogs have treated a squirrel. Hey y'all, Instinct Survivalist coming again, this time with a little bit of special information. Basically, I've taken Wilderness First Aid and Wilderness First Responder course from Mark DeJong over at Offgrid Medic. In that class, one of the things we do is deal with flight ops and how to interact with things like life flight, flight medic, the list goes on. So the whole goal, if you will, is to make sure that your patient is taken to, better care, for lack of a better term. Somebody that can actually go in and maybe if there's surgery that's needed, maybe that's, they're actually going to, take and reset a bone or something of that nature. So that type of functionality, right? That type of reasoning to get them to life flight, as an example. So as a wilderness first responder, we do what we can. We make them comfortable. We try to assess the situation and then try to do our best from a medical standpoint of fixing the situation. Well, there's still those people that are trained, they go to school for a long time to go in and maybe put in sutures, maybe do some other functions like that. And so our whole goal in that was to operate or work towards handing off a patient in order to better get them better care, better service outside of the wilderness area. So that's the overall goal. Now, in that, what we were able to do is I was able to see the helicopter finally come in and land, able to do a little bit of a tour of the helicopter itself. So I wanted to share what that looks like, because some of you may not know that, while a lot of the medical helicopters are small, so you think of MASH as an example, and the big old bubble coming in and landing. This one's actually bigger, so it actually has a pilot, a paramedic, and a nurse that is able to go in or go in and fit in, plus the patient. So a lot of things in that. So I want to cut away. I want you to see what that looks like. I want you to see kind of just the interaction with the helicopter. What does that look like? Because some people again have never seen that. So I want to be able to share that with you. And again, big shout out to Mark DeJong over at Offgrid Medic. Hey guys, if you need medical training, wilderness first aid, first responder, as well as CPR, AED, then please hit him up at offgridmedic.com. I'll put the link down below, but definitely go in and get some of that training. It's good stuff, and let's just say there's some real world scenarios that happen within that training. It's really, really good. So anyway, the cutaway, let me know what you think. Put your comments down below, and until then, use your instincts to survive. Thanks for watching. So we got a chopper coming in. We're going to do a whole scenario, if you will, of the landing, how to deal with it, what's going on from that. This is again for the wilderness first aid, first responder, so the first responder class. And this one specifically, this is what's covered in the first responder class. This one specifically is for, as I was just reminded, actual instructor class for Flint&Steel. So a little bit extra. They're going to make the second pass. We've got a cleared field out here. You see Mark tending to us out there, making sure that everything's well.
The first pass was at a high altitude. It was dropping down. Now he should be getting ready for his final approach. This is really the most critical time for them. Whenever they're on that final. First, the nurse on the right, medic on the left, and the pilot, everyone's got their own jobs to do. Here he comes right now. Hands off,
making sure that everything's clear, everything's good, and then decide the best place to land. We've got it marked off up here on the ground. Got some orange markers so we can see it. So we're just waiting on them. They're adjusting, making sure that everything's fine. Again, everything is very crucial at this point for them to say yes, I can land. They land looking at us. We got the wind to our back. They can see what's going on. We know where we are, and we can see and get instructions from them. Power down, checklist, I can see them like physically doing the checklist. Once they power it down, figure out what we're going to do. We're just right here. We're just waiting at this point. So we'll turn it off. We'll come back in a minute. Wow, that's a little squeaky. You can hear in the background. I'm not the only one filming. They're just running through their checks. They got to do all kinds of checks before they can come in, just because they shut down the rotors.
But every time they fly, of course, they have a pre-flight check. They also have a
Post-flight.
for any damage or anything that could occur to the aircraft in flight.
That's what they're supposed to do. Supposed to do that in remote areas. Australia.
If y'all can, can y'all see in here? Yeah. Well, everybody can see better. So right here, first thing, if you come up on, say we were in here and something happened. This fuel valve is just a switch there. So it's going to be in that position. You're just going to flip it down.
Yeah, you've done
Down's off. So once you do that, you got to find a happy medium.
So it's a balancing act, yeah.
Yeah. It's nice having extra fuel, but then you get too much and you're kind of hurting your patient weight.
Yeah. What if you come across a really big guy?
And that's what's going to happen. You're always worried. Sometimes you'll get putting fuel in, put extra, put a read it wrong and put extra 100 pounds, and that's when you get the big patient.
You gotta fly around a little, a little more. Yeah.
It is tight.
Did you
Snug.
did you fly in the military?
I actually didn't. Started taking lessons. Just always wanted to fly and took lessons. Went to do did flight instruction for years.
They do wait. They do wait and balance.
It's always been a,
So all the
a
equipment
dream of mine to learn how to fly
Oh, really?
helicopters. Yeah, man.
Y'all start chipping away at it.
Yeah.
The only
I've heard that it's kind of like a juggling act.
which
You
we weigh
know,
monthly.
like,
is,
I was going
First
to ask,
start,
what do they do with the crew?
It's a lot.
we weigh monthly. We all have to be under
Usually
230.
student or something, they'll start out and just let
And
you.
then that
little
just
things,
accounts.
you know,
So
put
then
your
you've got the
hands
fuel.
So
and
it's a
the
very
nation
small
flight.
seat right
Then you
there.
work just a cycle, then you work that weight, and slowly you'll start. They call it muscle memory. They just start.
I already jumped to the other side before everybody else, so it's empty. Over about people's heads. So you can see where the patient lays. American nurse. And then right there behind the webbing, on the other side of the webbing is where the pilot sits. So tell you kind of where we're at.
That's right, because you're keeping it running when you're low.
Yeah, it just you may have overheard they keep it running when they're loading the patient, so makes it easier and a lot quicker for processes to happen, which means more safety. Don't touch the rotor. Don't touch the rear one.
Off the feet.
Well, they just sit in his lap.
And
I mean,
the reason that I ask is because one of the things that we're teaching these guys is how to do improvised traction sprints.
Oh yeah, we don't do traction swings.
Yeah, and that's kind of like, I'm like, you know,
We can actually
trying
do
to put
the
10 pounds of stuff
Well,
in
the
5 pound
KTE.
sack.
the Sager traction. We can do those, but
Okay.
we can't do
The hair.
Yeah.
the other ones. But yeah, I mean, you can see how much room is in the front, right there in the nose, just as long as you can get a patient in here. I mean, you see that's a good bit of room.
Medic. Nurses on the other side.
I think the tallest one I've transported was like 6'7", and we actually the nurse had to actually swap with me because I couldn't close the door because my knees was up against it, so we had to swap seats.
So we got cardiac monitors and IV pumps and oxygen and ventilators.
Yeah, ventilator. We carry 2 IV pumps with 3 channels each. For critical care. We've got a cardiac monitor that can do everything but make you a pizza.
Right.
We carry a drug bag in here. It's got all the kind of drugs and stuff you'd use in an ER or an ICU. Warm IV fluids, portable suction. There's 2 units of blood, 2 units of plasma in here. And the bulk of our working gear is in here with our airway equipment. We use video laryngoscopes so we can get a better view down if we have to intubate somebody.
Remember the one that I showed you guys on
Yeah.
the airway mannequin? It's the same version, except theirs cost like $1,500 and mine was $40.
So to be able to carry 2 pints of blood, that's O negative, always?
I'll let them answer that.
We do carry O negative. We carry the plasma is
Plasma is A positive. Because it doesn't matter with the plasma as much. It really doesn't matter between the O negative and the O positive. So we'll start with the O positive in males. If it's a female of childbearing age and we end up having to give O positive,
Do you have
they just have to
Rogam?
get a shot of Rogam within 48 hours or
Okay,
something.
so you don't carry it, but that'll be
Right.
like follow-up
Yeah,
care?
that's a follow-up thing.
Gotcha.
Not a little room, is it?
No, it is not.
This kind of puts it into perspective.
So how often do y'all actually have flights? I mean, that y'all have to go in and do?
It just depends. So, some shifts will have 3 flights, be gone all day, and other
Nothing.
shifts
Just sit there and
nothing,
do
or
nothing.
you know, we may have bad weather the entire day, so it's kind of a free day.
Xbox.
All right.
Simulated flight.
Flight simulator.
Xbox, training, sleeping.
A lot of continuing
Heard that
education
before.
that we do. We're constantly doing computer modules and
Actually roll.
taking classes. I mean, it's always.
Yeah, I don't know if you
It's always
Try
something,
that in this one.
It's always, are they always keeping you busy doing something? If you're not in the air, you're doing something on the ground usually. So what is bad weather for this type chopper?
We have to, our minimums anyway for daytime is 3 miles and then 1,000-foot ceilings. And 3 mile viz out front of you. At night time's 5 mile viz and then 1,500-foot ceilings. And that's kind of our minimums, but it kind of depends to, you know, if you got rain mixed in there with that. Kind of depends on the trend, you know, it could be a 3,000-foot ceiling, but if this was, you know, 8,000 earlier and it's trended to, or forecasted to go down to, you know, 800, then we're probably not going to be able to take the flight. So there's a lot of factors kind of plays in that with the trends of the weather, actually what the weather is, what is forecasted.
Now who's making those calls? I mean, I guess there's a flight ops that.
They'll call us, the pilot. We make the call. The med crew, we usually kind of discuss with them. First, the ship will kind of tell them what the weather is going to be for the day, and then usually I'll ask them, you know, hey, are y'all comfortable with this? You know, here's what it's doing. Here's what we got. If it's a good day, you know, we're usually good. We just go. There's also we have it's kind of like flight ops, like you said, up in Missouri, which there's guys that sit there and watch. They got the screens, weather, everything in front of them. They can track our helicopter where we're at, where we're going, and they actually, you know, if we needed some advice, we can call them, and they're usually, you know, they're there to say, hey, they may see something different than we see, you know, so they're always an option too. And they can say, hey, they call sometimes and ask us about something, you know, we've seen this or saw that, or they may say, you know, I don't think it's a good idea you take that flight, but they're usually real helpful for stuff if we need it, especially in flight. We can call them too on the radio, and if we're running into something that we didn't, it's started developing, especially in summertime. Thunderstorms are bad to pop up, and so it's real good for that too in flight.
Cool.
Jamie, I think you had a question this morning as far as ground slope.
Asked him. He said some pilots will do it. They're not allowed to for company purposes.
As far as loading with the
Safety.
loading like on one skill.
Yeah, was it 4 degrees?
Yeah,
It ain't much.
Yeah, this one, dude, it's not a whole lot. I mean, anything out here, I told him, you know, it's probably pretty good as far as slow planning. But he'd asked too about if we could load like, kind of like I've seen videos, you know.
Oh, where they put like wood skid on the ground.
Oh no.
They need it, they'd let us, but no.
Nope.
Exactly. So they might do that. You get in touch with locals. They end up contacting flight service. Flight service comes out. Now you got the challenge of we've got them secured here, but we need to get them to here. You're obviously not going to take an improvised litter made out of sticks and get it in there. What would happen in that situation is these guys are going to break out the good drugs, morphine, fentanyl, things like that. They're going to take that pain away, or at least curb it a little bit, and then repackage the patient for a flight.
So good retake C-spine and then.
Yep. But at least at that point, you're not on your own, or there's more than 2 or 3 people there. You continually have resources pouring in there, and the more resources you have, the easier the transition is.
So you want them as stable and secure as possible, but you don't want to make it so hard that these guys have a problem in their efforts.
Correct.
Getting them transferable.
Correct. Yeah. Duct tape's just the guy. Duct tape's
Yeah.
long.
Oh yeah. It's the magical silver.
Yes. Anybody else have any questions?
I think they did a good job of covering everything, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's really not much to it.